10 seconds remaining.
And we're back. Game number 2 of our leadoff best of 3 of the day. EG taking on Na'Vi, and Na'Vi jumped out to a game 1 lead quick, fast, and in a hurry. And going to be looking to roll it up and make it a goose egg here if they can get a second win against EG. EG playing on no sleep, running on fumes. They looked good in bits, especially on the back of some really nice play coming out of Fogged early on that Weaver pick, but just not enough. And Na'Vi, by the time all was said and done, yeah, kind of tough when you're that far behind to overcome a 4-man Gale into a 4-man Poison Nova into a 4-man, if not 5. Actually, didn't see if it caught all 5. I think it got at least 4. Ravage, and that was the last nail in the coffin. Looking ahead now to game 2, though. Na'Vi snags up 2 very aggressive picks, Clockwork and Bounty Hunter, while EG going to go with the more stable teamfight-oriented leadoff with Elder Titan and Naga Siren to break down the draft as well as lend his insight and analysis throughout the entire tournament. Welcome in once again, Ben Merlini Wu, and Na'Vi says that's fine. We weren't too worried about the Bounty Hunter play out of universe as he struggled mightily in game 1, only being a part of 3 kills by the time all was said and done. And granted, all 3 were tracks, but not even level 2 track. So they snag up the bounty for themselves. If you know anything you can do, I can do better. And they're going to get the Clockwork, so expect some hooks coming out from Na'Vi.
Evil Geniuses, I think this draft is already a little bit better for them. Elder Titan, just I think one of the strongest heroes in 6.79, and people have been shying away from him. But why? Why do you not take Elder Titan when you can? That hero just works so well. They have a lot of minus armor, so that's something that already jumps out from me from EG. And if I were Na'Vi, I would ban things that synergize well with physical damage, like the Medusa, like Na'Vi already banned out. Dazzle if they want to, Slardar if they want to, what else? Shadow Fiend, Alchemist. There are a ton of heroes, and unfortunately, you can't ban them all. Vengeful Spirit, even. So I think Na'Vi is kind of like underhanded in this draft already, just simply because of giving up Elder Titan. Evil Geniuses, though, with their Visage ban, I think is a pretty big deal. The physical damage output from the Visage familiars, like even if you kill the Visage, like he's just so annoying to kill. You have to use like a lot of spells because of his Gravekeeper's Cloak, and he still does stuff after he dies. So he's just one of the more annoying supports to play against. He's good at scouting Roshan. He usually wins his lane, although he definitely did not last game. And yeah, I would give EG a slight edge in this draft thus far, as of the first 2 picks.
Well, you can see EG not about to let any early roaming potential come to fruition for Na'Vi. Banning out both Chin and Enchantress, Na'Vi will go ahead and grab Dindy his puck, though. So you want to talk about some reach and some range. Clockwork plus a puck. Funix Clockwork is pretty damn good, one of the best in the West, and Dindy can make the argument for best or second best puck in the West as well. Bounty Hunter, we'll see where that's going to end up being played at this point, but it could end up being a support clock. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Their ability to just take fights is going to be monstrous. Crystal Maiden, the 3rd pickup for EG, and they're going to be all about the 5-man at this point. They're going to have a nice lockdown for any hero they choose. With the Ensnare, as you mentioned, I have no reason to build upon what you said with Elder Titan. I mean, the hero really is just that good, especially in 5-man situations. What it's going to come down to now is the carry picks, and the Weaver is available for Na'Vi if they want to go with that sort of a pickup again, or they could even go something more aggressive. We'll have to wait and see.
10 seconds remaining.
And Puck, very Dendy-ish hero too, so I think that's good. They need to stick with Dendy heroes. At least for the time being. Although this is the second game of a best of 3. Sometimes teams like to experiment at this phase, especially when they dominated game 1 so hard. But I think Na'Vi, I mean, they feel the pressure in D2L as a whole in this season. They just need more wins. They've dropped 2, as I said in the first matchup, and they just definitely don't want to take any risk at this point, or that at least that's what it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're going to have to wait and see how we're going to structure things with our schedule again. Dignitas losing their Dota team means obviously they're not going to be participating in the rest of the season. It's not that big of a disaster for us other than losing some matches we were all very much looking forward to. Just because in their 1 appearance they did drop 0-2, so there's no questions about games played or anything like that. Obviously, every team simply will get a win. But when you factor in the fact, okay, every team's going to get that win now, you know, you look at Na'Vi, 3 matches left to play. They're sitting in 2-2. Practically speaking, to guarantee themselves a playoff berth, they need to win this match. That'll move them to 4 wins once you factor in their default win over Dignitas. then they have the chance to get another win. Whereas Evil Geniuses, this is pretty practically do or die time because every other team is going to get that advantage over them. That's one less series they have to try and make up some ground. So if they lose here today, they run a very real risk of being on the outside of that bubble looking in. We're going to see EG snag up Kunkka. I think that's a great pick. They're just all-out team fight right now. They're going to just pure 5-man. Na'Vi, though, with a lot of range, a lot of mobility, a lot of early aggressive potential, and with the Keeper of the Light, a lot of defensive utility as well. And to say nothing of just how easily it's going to be for them to bounce around the map with him using his ultimate and then recalling heroes in. Just being able to bring Clockwork in from the other side of the map unexpectedly, that's going to make EG play much more carefully, or at least they should. Otherwise, they will get punished.
We haven't seen Keeper Light met with like any success in 6.79. I don't remember the last time I saw him win, and I would like the stats brought up on that if possible, and it has, but he just doesn't really do anything. We saw him absolutely dominate a lane yesterday in our Eastern Division D2L playoffs, but that was at the sacrifice of the rest of his team just absolutely getting destroyed. So, and he doesn't really seem as good at anti-push. I mean, he got nerfed like kind of. His Chakra Magic costs a little bit more mana, and his Illuminate like slightly less width in the cast damage, but like all in all, he's not that much weaker than before. And Na'Vi just bringing back old heroes. Abaddon, a relic of an old era. I think like August was his heyday. Keeper Light heyday was definitely 6.78. And I mean, Na'Vi, I guess they're just trying to make old picks work, and why not?
Yeah. I mean, you can see obviously what the plan's going to be here. I'm anxious to see how they're going to farm and lane this out. They do have an extremely mid-game centric team, and EG going to show us another Necro pick. And I was actually talking following the upset that Roxas was able to pull, and talking about their draft and so on and so forth. A lot of people in the scene view it as maybe the return of a meta that was around in the Heroes of New Earth era. Just basically pick a bunch of tanky heroes and then go fight. And that's not necessarily the case here. I mean, Naga not super tanky, of course. Fogged on the Crystal Maiden certainly not super tanky at all. But having the Necrolite, and we saw this last night in our Eastern Division, just there to spam Death Pulse, to try and extend these fights out, to let his Heartstopper Aura do the job, and put that with MSS on the Kunkka, all of his AoE potential, with the AoE potential on Jao's Riptide, and, of course, Astral Spirit spam and so on. I mean, EG, if they're able to force Na'Vi to take fights, they're going to have a pretty large advantage. That's what it comes down to for Na'Vi. Can they pick and push? Can they get the advantage in terms of pure initiation?
Yeah, and EG's lineup is decently well-rounded, too. I like how they have anti-BKB with the Kunkka Cleave, or it's not necessarily anti-BKB, but they have spells that can actually do stuff during BKB, Song of Siren, and that. They have the Kunkka Cleave as well as the Earth Splitter and the Elder Titan Aura. So a lot of things going in the way for them. Like, even if Na'Vi just... We see that a lot. People just try and BKB rush down, and that's not going to work for Na'Vi. They have to win with a little bit more finesse. They... have a okay gank lineup, I guess, with the Keeper or with the Puck and the Bounty Hunter, but then you have these like passive heroes, or Keeper Light's more passive. Abaddon can play aggressively if you want to shield and heal people that tower dive, but all in all, their lineups, like, I don't know, the Keeper Light mix doesn't jive well with me. I think I would prefer a dual defensive / offensive support, maybe like a Shadow Demon or something like that. But we will see how that works out.
Horn blows. We'll take a look through the lineups as lanes take shape. We're going to have Necrolite farmed up by Fear. The Crystal Maiden will be played by Fogged. Naga Siren going to be handled by Jay, or they're waiting on Phonic here and might try to make something happen on the back of this DD, or at the very least, Fogged might go into the jungle and just start to use it right off the bat to find some CS. We're going to have MSS setting up shop here in mid on the Admirable Admiral. And, of course, Universe in this off lane on the Elder Titan, already taking some damage from Kuro. On the other side of the river, we got Puppy playing on the Keeper of the Light, and as we saw, Nahaz popped your stats up there for you, Merlini. He's 1-6 in his last 7 appearances in Pro Dota. Bounty Hunter going to be farmed by Havoso. Farming Bounty Hunter feels like a pub, don't it? Universe taking a little bit of harassment from the tandem here at top. Looks like he should be able to keep himself safe for the moment. Here in mid, Dindy already down fairly low, but playing a little bit with fire. MSS will throw the torrent, and he face shifts it. So.
Wow, that was relatively close.
Yep. And
MSS playing super aggressively. My goodness.
Going all the way back behind. And Dendy going to go ahead and tango up, feeling very safe.
He doesn't even care about using his flask. Man, Dendy's just a man.
Yep, this is what you can do whenever you're comfortable on a hero. I mean, if there's any hero that Dindy absolutely knows the limitations of, it's Puck. I mean, he is so good at getting every last ounce of damage and survivability out of Puck. Oh, and looks like they managed to find a first blood down at bottom. So Funnick wandering around, probably got ensnared, and yep, hit with the Nova. So
3 on Crystal Maiden after this Satyr too. So 2 minutes in, level 3 on CM. This is why this hero is just so darn good. And yeah, Funnick has a pretty amazing clockwork. I'm surprised that he did give up first blood this early. And Universe isn't really getting zoned out on top either. So all in all, this laning phase is going pretty well for EG. Meanwhile, in mid, we see Kunkka out CSing Dendi too. So everything's going well for them.
Finishing up the lineups, Kuro will be on the Abaddon with Funnick, as we saw, feeding first blood on the Clockwork. So, the laning phase, as mentioned, going pretty well. Let's talk about this farming at Necrolite. We saw this in action in the East the other night. It does have its limitations, but if he can get ahead and just start to tank up, he can be a part of a lineup that can just take fight after fight after fight with so much survivability and sustain.
Their 5-man is just way better than Navi's. Navi's kind of has to like pick them apart, find weak links in their positioning, and as they're like split farming. But if EG gets like an early mech on Necrolite and just storms down mid, if they can somehow do something about keep their lights illuminated, they can just roll Navi's lineup.
On the other side, a bit of a unorthodox pure farming role for Havos. He's going to be on the Bounty Hunter. You know, sometimes, you know, it's pub pick, you know, whatever. Bounty can make use of some farm now, especially if he wants to go something like a Desolator build. I mean, how many times have we seen, even in Pro Dota, a Bounty who gets up an item like that outside of some survivability items, drums, BKB, etc., and he can just start blowing up supports all at once.
Yeah, but that's the problem, though. Once even if he gets farm, if EG just 5-on-5 Bounty Hunter is going to be useless unless he gets a BKB. But even with a BKB, as I talked about earlier, he can't do that much. It's not like you can just go in recklessly. And Dendi, man, he's playing super aggressively on MSS. He does not have his bottle yet. It is coming back to him on the chicken in just a minute. 4-minute rune should spawn soon. I'm keeping an eye on Dendi just because I think a kill can happen like almost any time in this matchup.
Yep.
A fake cast coming out from MSS.
And missed there. And there's the Naga Siren. Oh, phase shifted, but cleaned up as MSS with some help from Fogged and Jo. Jo throwing the net. Very nice phase shift to avoid it, but still not enough.
I don't know why he didn't just walk up. Like, I don't know what he's doing down in the river over here.
Yep. So a little bit of questionable play so far. Everything going quite well for EG, and they're a bit to try and extend this series.
Yeah, Funnick is getting okay experience on bottom, looking at Fierce Farm. 23 CS, not as good as I expected. Going on early with Celias to hopefully push on this lane. Something that we did not see them do last game is get towers, and they have to get towers early if they want to win this game. I mean, and especially with this early lead, looking at the gold lead, is actually a little less than 1,000. I expected a little bit more. XP graph certainly in favor of them. MSS not level 6 yet on Dendi, so I think if he's level 6 there, they get a kill.
Universe is doing great out in the soft lane.
Just outside of each other's side.
Look at that. That's hilarious. Havost has rotated down, is level 5, and is going to try to make something happen, but should have been spotted, and he was, as we see MSS immediately pulling back. He walked right across that sentry there from EG, so not going to be able to get anything accomplished. But back to Universe. Up at top, he's doing great. He's already level 5 himself, has bottle boots up. And, yeah, he's going to be able to start participating in fights pretty damn early. He's got 3 points in Astral Spirit, 2 into Natural Order, so going with a pretty standard approach.
And these supports, they're just getting so many levels right now. Crystal made almost level 5, so he's the same level as Dendi right now.
Universe might be in trouble. He's taking some auto-attack damage. They're going to force 2 rotate. Oh, the Shuriken from Havost. Enough to get the kill. Big rotations, though. Jo shows up, going to run right up on him. Use the Riptide, drop a sentry, has an ensnare, thought about it, wound up for it, but so far, Fogg has yet to show his face. They don't know that he's there, and they might try to wait, but the creeps are going to be pushing him out of sentry range, so bit of a miss. Oh, never mind. They're going to send one more. That's going to be Universe coming right back to lane. They look to maybe make something happen in a 3-on-2 situation. Puppy is in the jungle, so they might have a chance to catch him as he comes back over. Instead, he's going to go pre-rune the 6. Jo's going to beat him there.
Invis rune for Jo, and Puppy immediately backs off, knowing if he gets netted, Abaddon is not there to save him, and good decision by him. I hear a greetings from Dendi, and Puppy looks like he's about to die.
Yep, Frostbite following the net. It's snared.
Oh, a miss.
Doesn't matter. The Astral Spirit was there just in case. Dindy has rotated over. Let's see what he can make happen. He's going to be walking into a firing line. If he decides to jump, he will coil fogged. Jo is right there, and we'll see the orb dodged. And, yeah, Dindy spent the coil there. He looked to hesitate a bit and probably should have hesitated a little longer. Kind of a waste.
Yeah, I thought if he hit with the orb, I think he would have went in, but it would still been very, very easy for him to die after that. Maybe if he like phase shifts a Nova, but that's almost impossible if Fog just casts a Frostbite and then hits him with a Nova. So Dendy, very low probability of getting away with a kill there.
And Jo now taking up station here in mid, soaking up some experience. He'll be level 6 before long. Dindy sitting at just short of level 7 at the moment. Puppy has rotated down to bottom as well. And they're going to send one more. Funnick is out in front, trying to draw out some action. Havos now, level 7, has track up, Orb of Venom, and Phase Boots. He's going to be able to pursue out whatever target he wants. Fogged is in the jungle. If he wants to go hunting for him, looks like he will. Rotating around. Rest of the lanes look pretty damn quiet. And
Funnick's not even level 6 yet. He needs level 6 ASAP.
They're going to try to dive Fear. And Havos taking a peek. Now he's going to duck back up. Like you said, Funnick still looking for his level 6. About level 5.5, so help coming to lane from EG, though. That's going to be Fogged, joined by Jo. This could be the beginning of a big engagement if they decide to go for the dive regardless. And Havos,
there's like almost no way they can kill Fear. Definitely not without level 6 on Funnick. And even with level 6 on him, it's just too risky of a proposition. He has a ton of HP right now, a decent amount of armor, and combine that with a heal, he is just not easy to kill, especially with those 3 heroes. They need like Dendy. Oh wow.
Miscoil.
Miscoil.
And missed opportunity to go with the miscoil. Havos was there.
Maybe Na'Vi needs sleep.
Yep. Funnick pinged out, spotted out. Looked like he could have thrown the ensnare, but canceled out of it. So far, we're 8 minutes in, only 4 kills on the board, 3 of which belong to EG. They have built themselves just about a 1,500 gold lead. The experience in their favor as well. And the torrent going to be off. Elsewhere on the map, Avost has gone back to farming. Has himself a double damage rune, 400 gold aside. Then that's going to be my question is, with this draft from Na'Vi, how much time are they going to spend to Havos just dedicated to farming? Or are they just going to start to roam him around? I mean, obviously...
X Torrent in mid.
And that will catch Dindy. No follow-up, though. MSS not confident enough to throw the boat that time.
Yeah, Dendy attempted to use phase shift to dodge Tidebringer. He actually still got hit by the Tidebringer. So, yeah, Dendy 0-1-0. Haven't seen any action from him. Also, Funnick 0-1-0. Haven't seen any action from him. They need to start getting moving on these ganks because they have the lineup. They need to try and pick EG apart before they decide to 5-man. And Clockwork has a Vit booster, too. That's very surprising to me.
Fear already moving up. He's actually not going to be getting a mechanism off the bat. Instead, he's picked up a staff of wizardry. We'll see what he's.
Oh, there's a smoke gank coming from Fogged and Jo.
Moving up the top. Universe standing right there with him. Fogged has the smoke popped off. Kuro, the closest target right now. Universe shows himself. Here we go. Avo's going to be ensnared and just blown up. There goes the dust to try to secure the kill. Kuro, in the meantime, frostbitten. There's the freezing field. That's going to keep Na'Vi from trying to re-engage into it. They will
Avo's walks into it, the freezing field, and he might die to a spirit from Universe if he casts a stray one.
Nope.
Wow.
Not even going to give it a shot. And 4-1 right now. EG is just taking control. And like you said, this draft from Na'Vi, very based on finesse, on being able to spread the map and dissect this Evil Geniuses squad before they really put together these bigger team fights. And so far, just hasn't been the case. Funnick finally did hit level 6, though. Picked up a casual Vit booster just for survivability.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the boat plus Necrolite combo that we saw before, like, EG is going to be pretty much, like, nigh invulnerable in these team fights, at least for, like, the first 10 seconds of Vos gets X-Torrented in mid.
And there's the Torrent boat. Will just barely miss. There's a coil, though, to return, and a silence on 2. Here comes Fog to try and help out. Dindy has to run as Universe TP's in as well. He will jaunt the safety. Got frostbitten on the high ground, though. Forced to use his bottle and some wand charges to keep himself alive. And EG unable to get anything done, but they do manage to avoid any payback from Dindy.
And Fear is still farming way on bottom. He's actually going for a 4-staff first build. I don't think that's the best build in this. Oh, it looks like Funnick's probably going to die here. Oh, he casted the Reaper, but it just got fogged.
Puppy rotating down. And he's going to recall someone. Let's see who it's going to be. Probably. Yep, there you
How are they
go.
going to kill
Havos.
Fear, though? Like, it's just not happening.
And he's going to eat the Janata. There's a track afterwards. A little bit of right click. Look how much damage Death Pulse is doing.
Vos might die here. If he stays, he's just going to get Reapered and die.
Yep. And they bring in Dindy. Probably should have brought in Dindy to begin with. Would have been a much better option to avoid the Death Pulse than maybe Havos later. But as it stands, once again, Fear keeps everyone standing. 4-1 remains the score. 12 minutes.
Yeah, they're like, we need to kill Fear, but we don't have enough people down here. And now EG has responded with 2 there. And there's a Song of the Siren.
Havos caught under his own tower. Everyone else able to retreat. And here comes the boat. Havos, Funnick and Havos both caught by it. Funnick, Scythe not enough. There's the Cogs. Actually, they're going to keep everyone alive. Yeah, Funnick's going to be able to survive the Astral Spirit.
Radiant's middle
And
tower is under attack.
EG.
That was illy timed by EG.
Yeah.
If they did Torrent and a boat too, I don't know why he didn't throw out the Torrent on Kunkka.
Big Illuminate does a lot of damage. Jo very close to dead. It's going to eat the Death Pulse to help him out. And the Rocket Flare doesn't catch up with him. Dindy now with the DD going to come charging out. He's got to coil up if he wants to spend it. He's looking for a target. He's actually not far from his Blink Dagger. And there we go. Coil as he jumps on top of Fog. Astral Spirit going to force him back off. Here comes Kuro to try and help out. Borrowed Time does proc. So he's feeling pretty brave at the moment. Still everyone standing on both sides. And this looks to be a stalemate as Na'Vi retreats back to their own tier 1.
They need Havos there. Where's Havos with the track? Like, he needs to be able to scout him out, chase him down. And if they get an early Janata on the Crystal Maiden, she is dead. And they just need kills so badly on their team right now. Only 1 kill, 13 minutes in on their side. Gold lead, about 3,000 in favor of EG. But Na'Vi has the killing lineup. They don't have the passive, hey, we're going to win with massive amounts of late game at 30 minutes kind of lineup. They don't have pretty much any late game because they don't rely on Havos. But he is 1-0 right now. Looks like, I mean, is he really going to be that much of a damage output in the late game? I don't think so.
We see Funnick brought back in by Puppey. Funnick, again, level 7, has a hook if he can find a target. MSS behind them. No one down.
They scout him out with a sword, though.
Yep, no one down at bottom for them to even try to target out. Dindy trying to hold the line here in mid. The tower in decent shape.
Here's a 5-man from EG. Navi's in a lot of trouble. Like, what are they going to do?
Yep, and this is what we knew could happen if they weren't able to keep things together. Here's going to be an Illuminate. Might be enough to buy them some time, and nope, not even going to connect on anyone. Na'Vi has to get together. Funnick's still down at bottom, and it looks like they're just going to let Havos try to split push here, but Bounty, not the best split pusher in the world. This tier 1 mid slowly being whittled down. They're trying to clear creeps with Illuminate and with the Orb, and didn't even jaunts to it, but will be able to retreat for the mob. He's lucky he didn't get X there.
Why? I mean, MSS could have X'd him right there.
Yeah.
And then he is going to die. He had a haste too, so I mean, EG should be further ahead at this point, and they are ahead. But they could have gotten a couple more kills. They could have gotten a double kill on bottom, but they didn't focus with the Reaper Scythe on the Bounty Hunter, and they didn't have a Torrent that connected. So they should be up like 7-1, 8-1 right now.
There's the hook, going to catch it out on Jo. He actually decides to retreat. They're going to try to get the deny. Not going to work as Naga takes the last hit. So Funnick hits his hook, but thought better of it immediately. Havos going to go ahead and head back into the enemy jungle, but this 5-man out of EG getting quite strong already.
The only thing is they can't just waste a lot of time running around and let Na'Vi farm up. Like, if they get some small items up, like or I guess Blink Dagger on Denny's a big item, but a Blink Dagger, maybe a mech, they can start taking fights. But as of right now, EG should continue to pick fights and be very, very aggressive around the map. Looks like they're trying to catch up Puppey. Here is a recall coming in.
And the X going to be there. Torrent, well timed. That'll catch 2 as Funnick wanders into it as well. Coils go down. There's the freezing field. Coil dropped by Dindy. They're trying to get the kill on Fog. Fear, in the meantime, going to be able to clean up Funnick, and the song is there. The catch of Vost and Dindy, and Torrent not going to connect. A little mistimed, however. Everyone hurting from Na'Vi, and snare on the Havos. Sentry goes down as the Death Pulse secures the kill. Kuro now making a run for it. Has borrowed time if he needs it. Torrent will connect, but no follow-up. Actually, yep, they're going to proc borrowed time. And he's happy to take that last little bit of health. But in the meantime, EG's 5-man potential showing itself in very stark colors. 6-2. They take the tier 1. They take an even bigger lead up to 4,000 gold in their favor now.
You know, looks like they're pressuring the T2, and why should they stop? They don't have that much mana on JO or MSS, but other than that, there's, I mean, aside from Illuminate, they really have nothing that they can defend with.
EG going to be sent running, and Na'Vi really up against it now. They have to get more out of their playmakers, Funnick and Dindy. So far, Yep, there's a missed hook. So far, we just haven't seen the standard play out of Dindy. We haven't seen Funnick hitting his hooks. We've just seen, and on the back of that, they're struggling. I mean, they have to dissect this lineup. They can't let EG sit as 5 and run as 5 and not be punished.
And their lating phase just did not go so well either. Like, oh, we may see Fear get picked off, though.
And Funnick already shot his hook, unable to follow it up. MSS was there, as was the rest of EG. And there's going to be an X on Havost, brought back. A Funnick shield ate some of the damage. Now, just blown apart. Utterly blown apart. EG is utterly hammering Na'Vi right now. And really not showing any signs of slowing down either.
They are switching game plans, though. Hey, let's just split push. Let's not fight because we are just way too weak right now. Oh, Kuroki might die.
Borrowed time proc. Dindy's there with the silence, though. And Fear. Up, there's the coil. They're still going to get at least one kill. And maybe. Up, Dindy. I was going to say if they decide to pursue him out, might have been able to chase him down. Not even going to try, though. So, yeah, they managed to just kill off Kuro despite the coil being dropped. Make it 8-2, and they're not about to slow down. Re-smoking, and now they're going to head down to this bottom lane. The tier 1 missing. Funnick is a bit out there, as is Puppy. They're going to go ahead and retreat. They come out at all, they will get dove, and they'll most likely end up dead.
They need to try and take fights when they aren't all 5 there. Puppy is just going to get caught out here.
Yep, it's
Funnick
snared out.
Just needs to run away.
Funnick falls back. Puppy not so fortunate. And EG. Well, they're abusing what we knew they could abuse. And, I mean, so far, really, Havost has just not been involved in a hell of a lot of fights. You take a look at the KD. You can see he's sitting at 2-2. So, I mean, he's been a part of 2 kills, both that Na'Vi has notched. But other than that, I mean, Fear, I just don't feel what that bounty hunter from the farm position is giving them at all right now.
Yeah, it's really just giving them nothing. And I mean, Funnick's Clockwork, to be honest, hasn't really given them anything either. Giving an early first blood and just he missed a hook too, and even when he does hook, he's just going to die to Reaper and just feed the Necrolite. So there's nothing really he can do, but I mean, he could have gotten an earlier level 6. He could have ganked somewhere else besides the 3 heroes on bottom, and he could have not given a first blood. So I mean, Na'Vi just a couple of mistakes in the early game really costing them, letting EG just run around as 5 and just take complete control of the map.
And Havo's going to be forced out of mid as EG rotates there. Systematically looking to bring down towers. Let's see if they're going to ping out the tier 2 mid. Looks like that's going to be their point of attack. Puppy will launch the Illuminate, but even that's not feeling all that scary anymore. And could have swore I just saw a mechanism come out on someone. Doesn't look like it did. Yep, nope, there it is. Universe managed to pick up. Big reaction on the bottom. And they're going to come in on Havost and on Dindy. There's the Frostbite. They have detection. Freezing Field going to be used. There's the Miscoil to try and keep him alive. Fear's on Kuro's tail now. He's got help.
If Fear Reapered him, he would have died.
Universe right behind him. There's borrowed time proc. They'll wait for that to expire, then look to finish him up. There's the Reaper. And that's a mega kill streak right now for Fear, who is sitting just south of 9,000 overall net worth as we approach 20 minutes. He's 5-0-1, Merlin.
Yeah, this draft from Na'Vi is just not working out for them. They're not good at anything, and like they're not good at pushing, they're not good at ganking, they're not good at defending, even though it seems like they should be with Keeper Light, and they just are kind of lost as to what to do right now, trying to split push, trying to stop EG from fighting, but they don't care. They're just going to barrel down mid. They do have the Glip on the side of Na'Vi, but Illuminate can only hold you off for so long. If they get a pipe up on Fear, and especially with the mech already coming out on Universe, they really can't defend. They can't even defend right now.
And MSS picking up a set of drums. So even he's beginning to feel a little bit more survivable. They're going to try to trade, but they're trading a tier 1 for a
Shadow
tier 2.
Blade.
I thought he was.
They need some gank potential, and they already have the drum sound on Fear. So I don't know why he didn't get that, because if Navi's going to play a split push kind of game, you just pick him off with Shadow Blade, like Shadow Blade X Torrent, and then with the TP scroll should be very, very easy to stop the split push from Na'Vi. And we see EG just continuing to play just very all up in Na'Vi's face right now.
No reason not to. I'm surprised as well with the Kunkka. He had banked up at one point 2,500 gold. Looked like he was just going to one-shot buy Shadow Blade, and opting for a different choice in this case. But 10-3, and the gold. Actually, Na'Vi is somehow leveling it out. It's sitting at about 55. I call it 6,000 in their favor, give or take, and 3,000 experience in their favor, as in EG's favor as well. But I mean, this is just one of those weird matches. If Havost at level 11 now with level 2 track can start to get some work done, maybe they can make something happen.
Wow,
There's a nice track kill.
Blown up. That Veil from Puppy.
Yep. Veil's going to have to be the essential element here. Havost, though, going to get punished. The Torrent does catch him. Very well-timed ship as well, connected on Puppy. And here comes MSS trying to chase him down. Kuro, even the Satyr getting in on the action. Earn Charge will probably kill off Kuro. Puppy will end up dead. Kuro, got to be close. He will survive with 20 HP. The Earn Charge running out just a little bit short. In the meantime,
why is his ult on cooldown? I didn't see what happened there.
Dire's top
looked
tower
like
is under attack.
good question, actually. He may have tried to throw it on someone, but
it definitely wasn't during that. Like, it was way before the Song of the Siren. So, and Ichi just continues to stormroll yet another tower. We see Dendy trying to put some pressure on bottom. They get a track kill on Universe, but is it really that big of a deal? Looking at the gold graph, it tells me no.
Gold continuing to arc in the favor of Evil Geniuses. Havost has his BKB. Don't know that's going to be the game-changing item they hoped it would be.
They should have gotten Arcane Boots on Jo to continue this like very sustained push.
The tower already down to about 1-6. They're going to try to engage out. There's the Veil. And trying to blow him up with pure magic damage. There's a good hook on the MSS. Oh, nice Force Staff. Got him out of trouble. Here comes the boat. Fear in the meantime caught out by his Lonesome. That'll be a track kill. And Havost coming in and doing damage with that BKB. We're going to see Fog eating all of the right click. In the meantime, Jo will be jumped on. That's what they had to have. They'd lost Funnick, but they picked up 3 track kills in exchange. The question is it too little, too late? Yet to be seen. They did make up some ground, 13-7 after that. The gold, even with those track kills, though, still slightly favoring EG in terms of gain, certainly in favor overall, but the experience, at least, has been cut down quite a bit, and yeah, plummeting down. And yeah, we can see there, the gold coming back down closer to 5,000, will be 4,000-ish after they take this tower.
Great hook by Funnick to set that fight up for Na'Vi. Dendy from behind. Ooh. They're not even going to get a tower out of this, so they are just way too low. The Elder Titan's spirit damage is just way too much for them right now, and with the threat of a Torrent boat coming out at any time, it's just not something that they can push. And looks like they've only lost 1 tower due to the split pushes efforts of Na'Vi, but Na'Vi finally able to stop their 5-man rolling. That's a very important victory for them right now. Problem is EG can just do Roshan right now because they have the stronger lineup and they have the Naga Siren, but looks like they are going to beat them there first. But Havost is getting very low. They have like no damage.
Yep, Havost forced to pull out and finds himself in an illusion rune with a 24-minute rune. Dindy's got a DD. They've got a rush down, yep, to about half, but they should have a suspicion at the very least. And yep, they're going to send the Astral Spirit in and spot out that big man taking a stroll, and he's not doing so just to stretch his legs. So Na'Vi able to retreat, but tipping their hand a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, EG, I guess, can do it. They can kind of sneak it in, but with a constant barrage of Illuminates and Rocket Flare, I don't think they have enough sustainability and heal to keep it up. We see Fogged actually very rich on the Crystal Maiden going for a Necro, so we may see a very imminent push here from EG, like in the next 10 minutes, especially if they get this Aegis, and it could potentially be game-ending. And Na'Vi, the thing is, they don't even have to do that. They can just wait out because Elder Titan scales very well into the late game. Necrolite scales pretty well too, and Kunkka scales amazingly well. So they can just wait it out and farm. They don't even feel the pressure to push and take a T3 very early.
They're doing it. Hang on,
There's a
Havost.
BK. What in the world, Havost?
All right, buddy. Havost.
Okay,
Fat finger? Had to have been.
Yeah, had to have been.
EG gonna move into the Roche pit off of that. They've got Song of the Siren if things go wrong. I don't think it's much going to matter. In the meantime, top tower does die to creeps, but EG
Na'Vi, if they get caught out by the song right now, they are just absolutely boned.
There's a track on the Fog. The Illuminate does some damage. There's a Scythe as well, and here comes the hook in. Fear in the meantime manages to get away. There's a stomp. Roche is still standing. Freezing Pill goes off. Bunnick had a couple cogged in, but the damage too much. No! It's a 3-man KO, and the coil! Fear plus Universe caught with the coil. Can they clean him up? Earthsplitter comes out, will not connect on anything or anyone. Buyback from the Naga Siren, and somehow, against all odds, Na'Vi manages to make this fight go their way. Roche is still very, very low, sitting just south of 1,500 HP. Fog tracked out. They've got Jo up.
They need a song right now.
Oh, Na'Vi somehow managing to extend this game off the back of a great hook. There's the hold, the veil plus the damage, and there's the song. Are they going to be able to do anything? They're trying to buy time. Fear's down for another 23 seconds. They'll have MSS back up soon, but he's not going to be able to get there in time. They may get this Roshan if they decide to go for it again. He's still very low. And nope, looks like they do want to fall back. Phonics now there, though. Just heard a BKB, and yeah, they're going to go ahead and go for the kill. Managing to pick off Fog. Devo's going to, nope, trade himself, but not before Phonic gets a hook on. Drops the cogs down, and they're just blocking the way. Kuro using borrowed time. Will they get the big guy down? 100 HP, there it is. Puck gets the Aegis. Now he may have to use it, but he comes in and caught all four. Re-engaging now with next to no health. A Phonic shield plus the scythe device, the fresh pickup. Where did he find the gold? He's still alive. Didn't even have to spin the Aegis there. And suddenly, if you blinked, you missed it. Na'Vi has closed the gap to 12-16, make it 12-17 as Puppy does pay the price. But look at the gold. Coming back down to 0. The closest this match has been in terms of gold gain in about 20 minutes. The experience now heavily in favor of Na'Vi.
Yeah, that veil double illuminate just obliterated them in that Roshan pit.
Oh, it did, man. And Fear picked up his Shivas right before that fight at Roche. This is a haste
they're
on
looking
Dindy.
to pick someone off.
Oh, three-man coil. Still has his Aegis, but they don't have anything to follow it up. Looks like they're all just going to snap it and take their exit using Death Pulse to heal through any damage done.
Man, that was with a very late BKB by Havos too, because it was down. If he had run in when Phonic had ulted and cogged them inside, and then he had been able to just walk in with BKB, he actually had to run out because of the freezing field. That would have been an even worse fight for EG. So, I mean, Na'Vi, they just pulled one out of their hats right there.
They did. Well, it's such a good pickup, the Veil. And we're going to have a fight back behind the tower. Puppy taking a lot of damage. Will have to limp away. Phonic got down the cogs. That'll be enough to stifle this EG push. And here we go. Moving up to the tier 3. Death Pulse is there. Dindy's coming up behind it. We'll get the silence off. Scythe on the MSS. He jumps out. There's a hook to follow it. He's tracked. Song of the Sirens there, though, and the Force Staff gets him out of trouble. And I was actually going to make mention of that before the fight broke out. This is a mass Force Staff approach coming out, but we're going to have a track onto him. Here comes the boat. Boat could connect on a bunch. Fear tracked. Aegis has gone on Puck. Will they get him? Uses the Shivas. No. Earth Splitter misses on everyone. Dindy back up. And we'll go ahead and try to pursue this out. We'll track down MSS instead of pursuing out Fear, who ran to the west. Another track goes out. Let's see. Are they going to try to catch up? Dindy.
They have Scythe up in 1. They should definitely pursue this out, I think.
And now Havo's going to be re-engaged on. And there's the stomp. Coil only got one. That was Universe. Phonic has hook up in 10 seconds if they want to continue to fight. There's Scythe of Ice used on Universe. Force Staff, though, gets him out of trouble. Dindy there. And another Force Staff used to push him out of the way. And Na'Vi going to collapse here on mid, trying to find Jo. In the meantime, they're getting low. Dindy's going to end up dropping there. And they end up feeding two in return. Getting a little too aggressive and trying to pursue this out. Mass Force Staff, the approach out of EG. They had 3 or 4 last count.
Phonic's dead too.
Yep. Cogged himself in. Death Pulse plus an auto attack. Gets the job done. 1. Let's see. Necro Book on Fog. 2. None on there. Yeah, 3. 3 Force Staffs on EG, and we're seeing why that approach against this composition in Na'Vi is being so successful and so worthwhile.
Yeah, it was a really good Echo Stomp by Elder Titan. It came out right before the Kunkka ship, and it just demolished any. Using his Aegis right there was just so important, especially right in the middle of the fight. And it looks like they're trying to hold on, but there is no glyph up. They might just take this T3 very early. MSS looking for an X on Puppy.
And they're going to have to clear out that Illuminate, as we've seen with the Veil active. You just can't take that in the face. Like, even with this kind of lead, it's just not possible. Puppy has picked up a Necro Book in the meantime. And tier 3 at about half health. There's an Illuminate that will knock down the creeps. And trying to push into the tier 3s right now, even with this lead, pretty tough.
Right, so if a Phonic Shield gets popped by killing the last word on... Or if a Phonic Shield pops and it kills the last word on the Necro Book, who actually takes damage? It looked like Puppy did, but it shouldn't be Kuro. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, Kuro didn't take any damage. I don't even know if he got the last hit on the Necro, though. I don't know. We'll see.
20-13. And Na'Vi has managed to take a game that seemed to have been disastrously out of control and make a match of it. They're still trailing, though, but coming up past 30 minutes now, a 3,500 gold lead, simply not that big a deal. The experience is actually heavily in their favor now at plus 3,000. Necro up on Puppey. That'll be a book 2. And, yeah, this is getting kind of nuts. Fierce still sits atop the net worth chart, but Havost is hanging and banging. If they could just get more mileage out of him, he's actually
they're trying to kill Dendi on bottom. I think he needs to switch into strength shreds. Like, there's no reason for him to... Oh, he wasn't in. So he has like 1,300 mana with a Sheep Stick. There's no way he's going to run out of mana. And the plus 10 damage is paltry compared to what 190 HP will give you from... Oh, actually, it's not 190. It's 8 times 19, so a little bit less. He needs HP, though, badly.
Yep. The net worth. Puck and Havost have picked back up, and Havost's actually going with the butterfly. He's picked up his Eagle Song, so...
Oh, they're trying to pick off Fear on bottom. Do they have enough damage to do so? I don't think so, and it looks like Jo is there, too.
He's got a Shivas and a Force Staff right on top of him. Jo uses Song of the Siren. Now, Jo is 13, so they're going to try to... Yep, Torrent caught them both. Havost probably in trouble. Dendi definitely in trouble as he's just completely exploded.
Good positioning by Jo, though, right there, and very good TP by MSS. That was a very important pick for them, being able to stifle Dendi. And that was a low probability kill from Na'Vi. I think they should have scouted out behind here a little bit. And Jo was actually over here, so it wouldn't have scouted out, but still just a little bit too close to tower.
They've got dust. They're looping around. They dust out. But Havost, a little too crafty for that.
He doesn't have a TP scroll, but he can get recalled, so I guess not a big deal.
Quick pickup of Pipe on Fierce Necrolite, so we will be seeing them try to crack the tier 3s for realsies coming up soon, and having the Pipe up now to nullify or at least mitigate the damage gain coming out of the Veil plus Illuminate plus any other magic damage they happen to have. Going to be a big step for EG trying to crack the tier 3, and Na'Vi hanging on by a thread. We'll see if they can continue to extend the game. But the problem is, I mean, even if you do, Havost, what are you going to do? Build a butterfly on him and hope that he's going to turn into an anti-mage type? Just not going to happen.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And Fogged with his book 3 certainly will be helping out considerably in the push. Naga sitting on 1,500 gold. We'll see what she wants to grab. Now, let's put you in Na'Vi's captain's chair, Merlini. I mean, we've seen them hold on fairly well, but you are handicapped in terms of pure late game against this EG squad. You're going to have a very small window of opportunity lasting from now, probably for another 7 to 10 minutes. What's the best way for them to play themselves back into a lead big enough to force a GG?
First thing they need to do, farm a BKB on Funnick, just so he can engage in the 5-on-5 fight that is going to be impending. What they also need to do is just defend towers at all costs, and Puppey really has to be the one to defend it, but also they just need to apply split pressure on the other lane so that EG doesn't really get that match out of it, and it looks like a 5 minutes is going to come, so the point is moot, but they can also just keep doing what they just did with Dendi and Bounty Hunter, just try and pick people off really fast, but they really do need more damage. I don't really think the butterfly's that big of a pickup. I think they do need more damage out of them, but we'll see how this push goes.
There's the Pipe pop, and the Illuminate was there. They're going to X out Puppey. Puppey going to be brought back. Boat's going to be off the mark. No, Puppey did manage to avoid it. Heard a courier get killed. Yep, looks like they actually managed to get EGs. And they're forcing him out fairly well right now.
Jo has no mana. That's a really big deal. This is what I was talking about. No arcane boost versus when you're trying to 5-man constantly push, like no Song of Siren, they can't really fight anymore.
Actually going to be an F-Blade pickup from Havost. So a little bit of extra burst. I'll tell you what's ridiculous. They just completely stymied that 5-man down mid, and Dendi wasn't even there. Dendi instead was split pushing bottom and brought down the tier 2.
Yeah, they just need to keep EG kind of just spread around the map. The more they spread around the map, the more opportunities Na'Vi can find, especially with the sheep on Puck. They can pretty much kill anyone with him +1. So I think that Na'Vi is not in as bad of a position as the momentum suggests, and they can like EG actually has a lot of pressure for split push, and we saw this versus Mouse just this week in the D2L, and Mouse just kind of picked them apart. Remember the Nature's Prophet who just and the super farm Naga Siren who got Boots of Travel really early. Like Mouse was behind by like 15 kills. I want to say it was like 21-6, and EG still had tons of trouble closing out. Funnick, meanwhile, in mid.
Shows off his BKB. Also has an Athos up. Looks like they're not going to try to pursue this out. Roche will be back up, by the way, in just a little over a minute. And this is Na'Vi's time. I mean,
EG is going to push right now, and they don't have the glyph up. This may be the racks for Na'Vi. I think Funny needs to top their HP off, but they're also pressuring the T3 on bottom. I don't think they can split push, but maybe with the Clogs blocking, they can. Look at this hero creep trying to take down the Cogs all by himself.
Hey, able to hold them just for a minute. In the meantime, at bottom, this tower not dropping nearly as quickly as they would like. They've got to decide, are they going to come or not? Here come the TPs. Pipe wiped off by one timely illuminate. There's the Veil. Rack still stand. And at least for the moment, got to get the Necro creeps, and one auto attack from Universe. Bring down the racks. There's borrowed time proc. Fear still hanging around in this fight. And they're trying the trade, but they're not going to be successful, I don't think. They're going to get something done up here. They are forced out.
That burst from Bounty Hunter. What in the world just happened to him?
I would imagine that would be Veil plus Eth plus Shuriken Toss. They're going to be able to pursue it out. They did get the tier 3 at bottom. There's going to be a nice hook on the Fog. Boat comes through. Can they get a... Oh, they got a coil on the JO as well. He's going to pop Song. And Fogged, using his freezing field, going to be bursted down as a track kill in return. They did get the tier 3, the racks. What ended up
channel right now? They don't need to go for a T2 in middle. That's definitely not worth the trade. They have to take this Roshan out, and even with one racks down, is not that big of a deal for them, just because they are able to put a lot of pressure on the other sides of the map. And Dendy did get a T3 on bottom, so it was not all for naught. And he actually attacked the Rain of HyperX. A very smart move, because that does not regenerate up. Puck has his Lincoln, so that will make him block X, block Force Staff, block Net, Frostbite, Reaper. It's decent. I think Frostbite or Force Staff is going to own him, though.
Roche will end up dropping uncontested. In the meantime, Havos forced the BKB through the X as he spotted EG coming down mid. EG's going to be tardy to the party, though. Roshan drops immediately, and they're going to bail out quick as they can. And this has got to be worrisome. The burst, as we saw from Havos Ethblade plus Janata plus Shuriken Toss in conjunction with the Veil of Discord for Puppey. It's no joke. This is not something that they can just hope up. Now Puppey going to be jumped on. There's the Scythe, only doing a little bit of damage. Here comes the rest of EG, though. Can they burst it down? There's borrowed time. Boat's going to be there. Caught Puppey and Funnick. Can they follow it up? Funnick forced back. The pipe's up. And buyback from Puppey to try and extend this game.
Backs on bottom. In the meantime, though, they need a back, and they need a back soon. Looks like Fear's already TPing, so is JO. So kind of an unnecessary buyback from them.
Fear's going to have to hoof it. Avost knocked him out of his TP with Shuriken Toss. He's got Ethblade and has track up. Fear force staffing himself to safety as they don't want to over pursue here. As you mentioned, Dindy split pushing, able to force them to back. The melee racks, though, it does regen health now, so it's not quite as effective to just play this kind of a split push. Maybe more effective if Dindy's going to try to do this as a way to delay the game, to go after the range tracks instead.
He should have kept attacking the range.
Vlad's picked up.
Dindy needs a Shivas for himself so he can get more solo kills.
Vlad's picked up by the Abaddon. And Na'Vi, I mean, they are holding on like champs. Look at the goal graph. This is actually the first time as of about the last 2 minutes ago that Na'Vi has held a lead. The very first time in the entire game they've held a gold lead over EG. That's the kind of game this has been. And look at the experience, man. The only thing that's really a liability now for Na'Vi is their composition. I mean, but hell, we're seeing them get usage out of Havos now. And down here at bottom, getting usage out of him on Fear. Can they blow him up?
Kill Fear? They can't.
Here comes
Then he might die twice here.
He's got blink in 5 seconds. And doesn't... Yep. Phase shifts, letting his things come off cooldown. There's the blink. Throws out the orb. Here comes the rest of Na'Vi. There's going to be the Scythe and phase shifting out some of it. Funnick managed to get 2 with the cogs. Here comes the boat. Boat will connect. Earth Splitter's there as well. Funnick doing what damage he can. Here's Havos. And Fear getting yet another kill. Kuro with borrowed time proc. Havos has to retreat. The rest of Na'Vi, save for Funnick, still standing by some miracle of mathematics. Check that. Havos is finally cleaned up. And Puppey likely to be next on the list. Dindy, though, didn't lose the Aegis. There's an ensnare that was thrown out. Here's X on Puppey. And JO tracked out. Going to have a hard time pursuing him out. Dindy going to phase shift out after throwing the orb. Kuro will finally be cleaned up. Puppey looks to make it a 4-0 as they took a chance and went on Fear and lost a hell of a lot for it.
Do not go on Fear. I think that lesson should be pretty evident for Na'Vi right now.
And Dindy did manage to make it away with his Aegis. Looks like EG, though, ready to just go ahead and shove down bottom.
Yeah, this should be a second racks for EG. There's really no way they can. Oh, looks like a Universe might get caught up by Dendi over here, though. But in the meanwhile, easy T3 for Na'Vi.
Respawn times, long time for the Coddle in particular. About 10 seconds on Abaddon, 12 seconds, give or take, on the Bounty Hunter. Tier 3 taken.
This build is cute from Bounty Hunter, but is it actually that effective? I don't think so.
Coming in, trying to make something happen. They glyphed out the racks. The damage might be too much. Here comes Abaddon. And down goes the second melee rack. There's going to be a hook in. They catch Fog. He force staffs out. Then he wants to jump through. There's a coil that caught 3, but they're able to force it out. In the meantime, Fogged and the Naga Siren have ended up dead. Dindy still trying to do work. There's a very nice stomp coming out from Universe. The Aegis was popped. Funnick ends up dead. Havos doing what he can, but just too tanky on the side of EG. Can't even burst down MSS. Havos cleaned up with a double kill from Fear off of that last scythe. And looks like, yeah, this game should be drawing to a close relatively soon. Na'Vi came close, and they actually swung it in their favor.
I don't know. This is still very, very close game. I think that, like, if they chase him down right now and possibly kill Fear, they can't even get a kill on him.
Nope.
If they kill Fear right now, it's definitely still a close game. If not, then I don't know.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It just seems like their lineups run out of gas. There's Scythe of Ice on the Fear. Dindy doesn't have coil, and we'll just be able to silence him out. Naga's going to buy back just to be safe. And Dindy plus Kuro staying on him. There's a track onto him. Here's Song. Oh, wow.
If they reinitiate with Shivas right now, it's going to be really rough for them. Fear just staying still, though.
And waiting on the rest of the team. Good silence there. Fear's going to be forced staffed away. Dindy, though, caught out. Had his Lincolns popped inside. Device on his own. Kuro's right behind him. Kajeo track him down. In the meantime, there's a freezing field. And the borrowed time proc on Kuro. Not going to be enough to save him as the ensnare snags him up on the retreat. MSS will be back up. They're now 4 versus 5. And here comes EG looking to push for the win.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Uh-oh, JO with another. Oh, that's so big, getting Puppy right there. He does not have buyback.
Puppy helped out a bit by the Lincolns and will be popped off. And there's going to be some cogs go down. However, they do manage to clean up Puppy. There's another Scythe that cleans up Dindy following his coil. And yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Yep, GG called. I'll tell you, they came back too late, man. You see that goal graph dipping in their favor for the first time the entire game, right around 40 minutes in. And the experience coming back to nil by the time all was said and done. But they made their comeback, but it was just too late in the game. EG had just gotten too much out of it. And are they going to continue to fight? I thought the Ancient was supposed to have blown up by now.
The fake GG.
Fake GG. Oh, there, Puppy said it again. Here comes the rest. But the Ancient will die to creeps one way or the other. So EG matching up against Na'Vi after getting absolutely rocked in a 22-minute game 1. Managing to exploit the holes in Na'Vi's lineup. Managing to not give them any openings. To put
Their
that
draft was just so much better, too.
Yep, to put that finesse draft style we saw them pick. They just never had a chance to put it to good use. And in the end, they walk away with a win. What could Na'Vi have done different here, Merlini, to have produced a different result?
Give a better hero for Havos, like safe lane farmer. They weren't able to zone the Elder Titan out, so they won top lane because the Elder Titan got a ton of experience. Dendi actually did not get a very fast blink, so MSS won mid too, and Funnick just absolutely fed on bottom and got a really slow level 6. So they need to draft better lanes, and they don't have the late game to come back. They did not have a comeback lineup, so they either need to draft better to accommodate for losing their lanes or draft better to win their lanes.
32-19, the final kill score, 44 minutes, 28 seconds. The official game time. EG knots the series, and we're going to a game 3. I'm your host here at AC Chambers. Thanks so much for being a part of the broadcast, guys. And yeah, Na'Vi, they really look strong in game 1, but they're in game 2. EG showing that they've got the goods as well, really benefiting from that pure 5-man draft, and really starting at about 15 minutes. They never stopped running this 5. Occasionally they'd split up, and Fear in particular, farming the Necro, showing the hero as rarely as he's picked, can certainly have his uses. So this series going the distance, very important series for both teams. EG in particular, if they're going to maintain any even outside shot of making the playoffs, they have to get a win. Na'Vi, though, I mean, they can lose this series and still win their way into the playoffs. They feel fairly secure, just as they are going to be favored in most of the series looking ahead. But for right now, a lot on the line. Game 3 coming up next on the HyperX D2L. Stick with us. We'll be right back.